Hello everyone and welcome. It's great to have you with us in Afghan Voice Agency on May 17th. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation has denounced in the strongest term Israel's brutal aggression against the Palestinian people as the Tel Aviv regime's relentless bombardment of the besieged Gaza Strip enters its 7th consecutive day. Foreign Minister Hani Fatma represented Afghanistan in a meeting. He called on the Organization of Islamic Cooperation member states to consolidate their solidarity on the question of Palestine as a central cause of the Islamic world. Hani Fatma said the Organization of Islamic Cooperation countries needed to establish effective mechanism to work with the United Nations, European Union, Arab League and other stakeholders in the international community to end the conflict. In a statement issued after an emergency meeting of the organization at the level of foreign ministers on Sunday, the 57-member body called for an immediate halt of the attacks on civilians, saying they were a violation of international law and the United Nations resolutions. It also clearly warned of the dangerous effect of Israel's repeated and deliberate inflammation of religious sensitivities and its provocation of the feeling of the Palestinian people and the Islamic world. The statement reiterated its rejection of the continued Israeli settlement, expansion, and establishment of apartheid system in occupied Palestinian territories. Jerusalem, Al-Quds, and Al-Aqsa Mosque are the red line for Islamic world, and there will be no security or stability except with their complete liberation from occupation, it stressed. As Israel, in complete defiance to international calls for ceasefire, continues to strike Gaza with brutal military offense, 42 more Palestinians, including 10 children, have been murdered in a single day. At least 209 Palestinians have been murdered in Israeli airstrikes and artillery bombardment during the last week. The United Nations Security Council, which met in New York to discuss the situation in the Middle East and Israeli offensive against unarmed Palestinians, made no progress in solving crisis. According to Associated Press, efforts by China, Norway, and Tunisia to get the Security Council to issue a statement calling for a cessation of hostilities were blocked by the United States. Families of the victims of the deadly blast on May 8th near Sayyid Shohada School in the west of Kabul that killed over 80 people, all students, said the incident required an extensive people by the United Nations and called for a proper security plan for students in that part of the city. Students have been attacked in that area at least 3 times recently. The families appeared at the press conference in Kabul on Sunday where they called for proper attention to be paid to those affected by the incident. The families put the casualties at 90 killed and over 240 wounded, all students. We call on the international community, the United Nations Human Rights Defender Organization to probe the cruel attack and find the perpetrators through a probe team so that the Hazara community, especially girls, are not deprived of the right to live and be educated, said Masuma, a member of an affected family. Other members of the victims' families said the government should address the plight of those wounded in attack. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has underscored the importance of U.S. role to help address the dire situation, restore peace, and facilitate a just solution to Palestinian issue. In a telephonic conversation with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Shah Mahmood Qureshi apprised him of Pakistani people's deep concern and anguish on the worsening humanitarian situation in the Israeli-occupied Palestinian territories. Shah Mahmood Qureshi reaffirmed Pakistan's steadfast support for the Afghan peace process while underscoring that achieving peaceful political solution in Afghanistan is the shared responsibility of all Afghan parties as well as the key international and regional stakeholders. Thanks for tuning in and until next time.